Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for coming to today's Tuesday, March 1st meeting. If you can all please rise and join me in the flag salute. Right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. City Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor Ibarra,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez,
Present.
Councilmember Larios.
Here.
Councilmember Merlo.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. City Clerk, do we have any changes to the agenda?
There are none.
Great. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move Lopez.
May I have a second? Merlo. With the motion from Councilmember Lopez and a second from Councilmember Merlo. City Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, to approve the agenda, Mayor Ibarra,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez.
Yes.
Councilmember Larios.
Yes.
Councilmember Merlo.
Yes.
Motion
Thank
carries.
you. Now we'll take public comment from the members of the audience. If you'd like to provide a comment through Zoom, please click the raise hand button. Are there any public comments at this time on Zoom?
There are none on Zoom.
Seeing that there's no public comments in the audience or on Zoom, I'll move on to consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar can be approved with one motion. Items may be removed from the consent calendar by any member of the council. Those items removed will be considered immediately after the consent calendar. Does council wish to pull any items from the consent calendar? Are there any public comments for the consent calendar on Zoom?
There are none on Zoom.
Seeing that there's no public comment in person or on Zoom, may I have a motion for consent calendar items number 1 through 9?
I'll move Lopez 1 through 9.
I'll second Larios.
With the motion by Councilmember Lopez and a second by Councilmember Larios. City Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, to approve the consent calendar items number 1 through 9. Mayor, which includes resolution 2022-03. Mayor Ibarra,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Larios.
Yes.
Councilmember Merlo.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll now go on to new business. Agenda item number 10 is the 2022 pension obligation bonds. Finance Director Williams will present the staff report. Good morning.
Thank you. Yes, good morning, Honorable Mayor, Honorable members of the City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present for the council's consideration this morning. This our next step in the process of issuing pension obligation bonds. So by way of review, the pension obligation bonds or POBs, this is just one strategic tool available to the city to level out the payments for long-term savings. And this should be combined with an array of approaches that we've previously mentioned to mitigate future cost escalations. And these include what the IRS allows, a Section 115 trust. This is a specialized investment tool that we can set aside funds specifically for this purpose. We are recommending a formal pension management policy, which we'll be bringing forward later in the process. And then it always goes without saying, future budgetary choices to make sure that we don't, that we safeguard against these obligations returning in the future. So the recommendation this morning has 3 elements within the resolution. So to issue, authorizing the issuance of the bonds to refund and prepay these long-term obligations. So the first is that it approves and authorizes the bond purchase agreement. Now, this is just a preliminary document, but this is the agreement between the city and Stiefel as the underwriter. This also includes a trust agreement with BNY as the safekeeper once the bonds are issued. And finally, and very importantly, authorizing the judicial validation process. So this is an administrative process that is required by the Superior Court. It functions like a protest vote, and it is necessary for full disclosure and transparency on the part of the city in this process. The resolution also has some not to exceed figures, and we took just the maximum to make sure that we're not bringing anything back to the council. So it sets a maximum underwriter discount of 0.4% of the total principal. It also sets a limit on the interest rate of the bonds issued. Past a certain interest rate, it just simply doesn't pencil out and make sense. So that's set at 4.5%. It also accomplishes a not to exceed principal amount of 145 million. It's actually going to be considerably less than that. We're not recommending that all of the UAL is paid down. We'll explain more of that in the process, but that relates to the trust that we're recommending. We always want a shock absorber, if you will, of cash just based on market volatility. And we see a lot of that lately. So this validation procedure is required pursuant to Section 860 of the California Code of Civil Procedure, and that is a requirement of the Superior Court. So if approved, next steps, once the validation process is complete, and that will take months, staff will present the preliminary official statement, just like we do every bond, for city council approval. That's when the final terms are brought forward. That's expected at the beginning of July. So that concludes the overview of the report, and we are joined this morning on Zoom with Brian Forbath, with our bond counsel with Stradling, as well as Thomas Jacob representing us from Stiefel.
Sorry, does council have any questions on this item? No? Are there any public comments on this item?
There are none on Zoom.
Seeing that there's no public comments in the audience or on Zoom, may I have a motion for this item?
Move.
May I have a second?
Oh, second.
With the motion from Mayor Pro Tem Davis and a second from Councilmember Lopez, City Clerk.
To adopt resolution number 2022-24, I'm sorry, it's -04, authorizing the issuance of bonds to refund and prepay certain pension obligations to the city, approving the form and authorizing execution of a trust agreement and bond purchase agreement, authorizing judicial validation proceedings relating to the issuance of such bonds, and approving additional actions related thereto. Mayor Ibarra.
Before I agree with this, are you doing an edit to that typo? You said 2204.
The resolution that you're adopting is
Yeah.
2022-04.
Okay, with the edit to that number.
Well, the resolution. is correct.
Resolution.
The resolution is correct. It's on
the-
the agenda. It
On the
was-
agenda, it's a typo. Okay, with that, I approve it.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Larios.
Yeah.
Councilmember Merlo.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Sorry for the confusion. Just want to make sure it's clear. Okay, now we'll go on to oral reports. City Administrator.
Good morning, Honorable Mayor, City Council members. So I want to thank LA County Fire and extend our gratitude for hosting the fundraiser breakfast this past weekend for fallen firefighter John Flagler. We appreciate their efforts they have made to acknowledge his life and service and support his family. Next week, we have a couple of events scheduled. We have March 9th, New Business Welcome. We understand that new businesses may have questions about the city and may wish to learn specific functions, staff contacts, business incentive programs. This event will be an opportunity for the attendees to tell us how their new business is going in Vernon and ask questions, share concerns, and connect with fellow businesses. So we'll have them here at City Hall. And so we'll get a chance to interact with our new businesses and see how things are going with them. And then on March 11th, we have the Vernon Job Fair. The city is hosting a job fair to support Vernon businesses with their employee recruitment efforts. In partnership with Senator Lena Gonzalez's office, LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn, and the Vernon Chamber of Commerce, our goal is to match up job seekers in the region with Vernon businesses trying to fill job vacancies. So we'll be doing that as well next week. And then the following, I believe at the end of March, we'll have the spring event with our residents. That'll be hosted here at City Hall. And then just a heads up, at the next city council meeting on Tuesday, March 15th, I will be putting my evaluation on the agenda, so it may be a little bit longer, and we can adjourn from the council chambers and we can go upstairs to one of the conference rooms, and then we can review my evaluation with city council. So just plan on a little bit longer time just to go through that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Are there any reports from council at this time? No, seeing that there isn't any, we'll now go on to closed session for agenda item number 11. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. We're now back from closed session at 9:17. Interim City Attorney Musso, provide a report.
Council met in closed session on item number 11 and no reportable action taken.
Thank you. With no further business, I adjourn the meeting at 9:18.